Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram and Hive. And of course, check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com.
I'm alive in the real world too.
Are you alive in the real world? Is this not the real world?
No, this is the fake world.
The fake world? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
where
there you
everybody
go.
lives to just complain and whine.
Well, that's true.
I live in the happy real world.
Okay, well, good for you.
Thank you.
All right, friends, we have movies to talk about. That's why we're here. Oops, sorry. Why is this death cube here?
It's not the death cube.
It's death.
Here,
Well, first of all, only one side's complete, so you
actually, it's
do the
like
whole...
two sides because it's.
Well, you need to keep Rubik's cubing.
See, there it is.
Okay, well you
Oh,
gotta
it's off one.
you gotta keep going. You're not one of these guys.
I am, but I'll make you feel bad when I do that.
Is that what it is?
I'll do it the old way, where you do this.
And you peel them off.
No, you just take one block out, and then you can take it all apart, and put it back
You
together.
can?
Yeah.
I would just peel the
So
stickers.
Oh no, you do that, the stickers eventually fall off. If you can take one corner off of the old Rubik's
Don't break
Cube.
it. I bought that for you. Don't do it.
I know, but I'm saying that's why I used to do the Rubik's Cube. You pull one corner out, then you can actually take them apart and put them back together and then snap it, and those look like you're. Then you just go. You don't show them somebody. You're like. Then you show them like, see.
Wow.
Look at that. See. Huh?
I wonder if this is the same, like the number of sides and all that with like a regular Rubik's Cube.
It should be.
So some Rubik's Cube genius kid open.
All I know is like you just stand at this side's the only one that's really important. You have this one, then you got to rub the circle.
And then the thing comes out though. And
yeah,
the
then it goes.
Gonna,
and it goes.
And it's gonna get your thumb, and then
That's
suddenly
right.
you're in the Cenobite world. Oh, all right, guys. We have movies to talk about. Where do you want to start? I put them in the order that they were listed on the website.
Why does every week my hair get worse?
What did you do?
This is just how I live.
Why don't you just brush your hair then?
I did brush my hair.
Okay.
Just because you tried to make yourself look presentable one time, now you're gonna try.
I always try to look presentable because we're here for the millions and millions of fans.
Like one person that might watch.
That's okay. Thank you for watching. We care about you. All right, here.
That's how you know we don't do this for money because there ain't nobody here.
No, babe. They pay all reviewers to give good reviews. Don't you know?
True.
Okay, here we go. We're starting right here with the movie BlackBerry.
So racist.
Okay. Tell me about BlackBerry.
Is this like a Sweeter the Berry?
No.
Oh.
This is the movie about the phone BlackBerry. I don't know if you had one. Some of you may not be old enough.
I hated the BlackBerry.
I loved it. It was great for business.
It was revolutionary because of the way they had built the keyboard.
It had a query keyboard where it had the clicky keyboard. Okay, yeah. Where you could click and stuff.
I had I don't think it was a BlackBerry brand for my job that at one point, but I had that one phone. It was the very same style.
Yeah, I had a BlackBerry phone for my job.
So anyway, the movie is about basically the history of how BlackBerry came to be, how it changed the industry, its rise and eventual fall. I think there's a new variation of BlackBerry nowadays, but for a while it kind of crashed and burned and it was like not a thing anymore.
Yeah, they are not making new phones. I went and looked it up. There are a couple, like 3 or 4 models that are still working in existence, but it's not at all with the keyboard.
I thought they just made a new one of some sort. I thought that's
devices. Let's go read the devices.
The movie stars Jay Baruchel, which I always say his name wrong. Glenn Howerton and was it Matt Johnson? Hold on, I just wasn't prepared. Sorry.
This is unacceptable. BlackBerry decommissioned the infrastructure and services used by
Matt
our legacy
Johnson, who also
software phone.
co-stars in the film. You got Carrie Elways, Martin Donovan, Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside is such a great name.
Michael Ironside's awesome. He's always grumpy.
Yeah.
So anyway, basically, but the 2 leads to the movie are Glenn Howerton and Jay Baruchel. They play Mike Lazaridis and Jim Basile, however you say his name. The 2 people that essentially built the brand.
It, yeah.
Matt Johnson and Mike Lazaridis are the ones that actually developed the BlackBerry phone. I think they called it something else, if I remember correctly. And then the other guy worked for one of their competitors that they actually pitched it to and then came on. But he was kind of the voice that they needed. That was somebody that was kind of an ass. He knew how to deal with business and talk to people where they were one was kind of a goofball and the other one was more of almost on the Spectrum style.
He was so timid. He couldn't get
because
anything
he was
done.
a tech guy. He wasn't.
Yeah, and so they got this real business dude. He is such a jerk in this movie.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the real guy must have been that way, because obviously later down the road you find out they get into some problems, but it was because of him.
Well, and it's funny is that guy's also more well known for that TV show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So it's like, excuse me, polar opposite of the kind of role that you would normally most noted for, and he has a full head of hair in the other thing.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, wow, he's got a nice bald head in this one.
This movie reminded me of movies that seem to have kind of been a thing lately of talking about a lot of the industry stuff. So movies like Tetris and Air,
yes,
things like that. That's
some
what
real
this
life
movie
stories.
reminded me of, and it was a great movie. I thought.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It has funny elements, but it's life stuff. But it's interesting just to see the pitches and the developments and how these companies grow, and then it kind of has a time jump after it's become a success, and to see how people have actually screwed each other over and made deals that weren't actually legal deals. It actually was the downfall of the company. But it was also the only reason the company did what it did.
Yeah.
Was because they made, not they, but somebody signed contracts they shouldn't have been signing. And
made some things.
To try to get people there to make the bigger for what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I think, though, for sure, the phone revolutionized what phones were.
Yeah.
But then Apple caught up, and Apple completely revolutionized beyond that. To me, it was interesting in the story. I liked the movie. I thought it was interesting to see all of the techie computer guys that were just like so smart. They could take apart like video game controllers and keyboards and like calculators and stuff and create a phone out of just all these spare parts.
There's a scene when they need to make this one prototype,
which you see on the screen there.
It shows them going to like the Radio Shack or Target or whatever they go, and they're just buying speaking spells and all these different things that they
and then they're piecing it together. And I mean, it's amazing that's even a thing. You know, like there are people that can do that, and it was amazing. But those people had no idea of how to run a business. They could make you stuff. So when they weren't making stuff, they were playing like video games.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's always funny you see, and people oftentimes probably wonder if it's real when you watch these movies like The Internship by Google and all this stuff, and you see these places, or you see somebody go interview, it's that old guy that's trying to interview at a new tech company, and there's people riding around on skateboards and playing ping pong and it's because that's how they run those businesses. They're not a stuffy boardroom business. They're trying to do things the way that things keep their mind functioning. It keeps them entertaining. When a lot of time it's gaming or playing different stuff or doing things. And if you haven't ever been to the Google compound, which we've been to, googly. It is very much that. I mean, it's very businessy, but there's bicycles you can ride around. There's playgrounds. It's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
We got to go on a tour.
Yeah, we did.
Because we know somebody that works there. Anyway.
Anywho, it's a really interesting movie. If you ever had a BlackBerry, you're just interested about the phone technologies of the world, this movie is for you. Today I was talking about, hey, like y'all remember when we had beepers? We thought we were so cool. We're like beep beep.
Especially when you figured out how to spell words with the numbers.
Like hello.
Yeah, that was like a big deal. Boobs. Yeah, that was the big deal.
That was one. So.
I like this other poster. You used the one poster, the one that we have on our review. I actually really dig because it's showing both characters, but with like one's got a light bulb written over his head because he's the brains. And the other's got the horns, but he's kind of the business devil.
He really was.
You know, it's very interesting. But yeah, I thought it was a great film. It was another
really
one.
Interesting.
I always head into these movies with, I'm interested because of the history, but I'm not really interested in watching that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll watch it almost every time. I'm like, man, that was intriguing.
It was
like intriguing. Even if the movie's not super exciting, it's kind of slow and boring sometimes. Not this one, but movies like it. You come out on the other side very like, wow, you didn't. It's baffling how so many regular things had so many things that happened in the background that we never knew about.
Yeah,
you know, like the Tetris thing with the almost starting.
Oh my gosh, a war,
another war. You know, and it's crazy. You know, you don't really think. When you think of the BlackBerry, you remember the name of it, you remember its keyboard, you remember it being different at the time, but you don't always necessarily think about how it changed the game, you know? and how because that phone
really
exists,
did.
everything else exists.
Yep.
You know,
Because of that is how we have a phone with a keyboard here on the screen.
It's no longer a keyboard; it's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
You know,
It's
so
just you just start.
It's
typing.
a great movie. It's one of those that
it's really interesting.
It's another movie that's kind of something different that's out there that's in theaters. It's not another sequel. It's not a remake.
Correct.
And it's great performances by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. It's on our our YouTube channel and our website. But I did get to interview Jay Baruchel and Glenn Howerton. Sadly, and this is one of my complaints with interviews. A lot of people don't know this. So if you go watch the interview and you're like, "Well, that's it," when we bring us in for an interview, we're given a time limit. And I was supposed to also interview Matt Johnson, the director, who's the goofy guy in the movie.
Yeah.
And so I was going to have 3 people and I had 5 minutes to interview them. So it's like, how much can you get out of 3 people in 5 minutes?
Maybe one question.
I got 2 questions.
Oh, you were lucky.
And then it's them talking and then it's kind of over. So it kind of feels like we didn't ask anything that important because you have the setup, and then if you're like this one, it's kind of hard. Like if you had a chance to interview somebody about this movie, what would your question be?
I would ask them, what made you want to do the project? Did you have a BlackBerry?
See, my first question was, what drew you to this project?
Yeah.
Right? That's sometimes a long, drawn out story of how they met each other and I did this and the writers. And,
have they worked together before? Have they worked with this director?
And then I think I asked them something to the extent about, because both these guys, despite doing a lot of different stuff in the industry, are predominantly known for comedy stuff. And I'm like, how different is it to have to approach these real life type characters with very visual looks that are not what y'all look like, as opposed to these comedies? And then it's like, well, it's not that different of an approach, so It's not always an overly exciting situation, but it's still a great chance to get to speak with. Sometimes you get those gems. Both guys were very nice. I love Jay Baruchel, and it was great to get to speak with him. It's just a bummer that you don't get to really have that conversation sometimes.
Are you okay?
You okay, bud?
Is he throwing up?
Yeah, come here.
Sorry, baby.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, you finish. I can see if you need to.
Okay. Check it out. Anywho. Oh.
You need to go, Vader?
Okay. The dog is sick. That's more important than the rest of us. Anyway, check out the movie BlackBerry. It is in theaters now. And I do miss my BlackBerry phone. I wish I could have one again. But they tried to release a new device in 2022. I guess it didn't do all that well, and it's been disabled. The back end of it's been disabled. And they said in a press statement they have no intention of releasing any further devices in the future, and they're going to just stick to being a software company, and that's what they do now, is software and security. They're a software securities firm. So there you go. That was the end of that. All right. Next. Moving on to the next one. Did he pull this movie? Please hold. Please hold an awkward silence as I wait for my husband to come back. How rude. So rude. I think the dog was sick, and I feel like he's probably cleaning it up right now because he's a good person. And the dog's coming back. Anyhow. All right. Posted a link to that interview that you mentioned, so that's also there for you to look at. And we're now moving on to our next film. It's taking too long. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. We'll trim this out of the final video. Just hit pause for a second. It'll be okay. All right. Moving on to our next movie now.
Sorry. We need a sick dog.
I know, poor baby. All right, moving on to our next film. I keep calling this Book Club 2. It's actually Book Club The Next Chapter. Starring all of the ladies from the first one. So we have Diane Keaton. I'm going
Will Wheaton.
Mary Steenburgen, Candice Bergen, and Jane Fonda. Not, I hate when they don't put the names of the poster in order of the people there.
I know that's an art thing, but I think that's also sometimes they probably make the poster and then somebody else throws the people on it, whatever photo they took.
Or could it be that Mary Steenburgen's name wouldn't have fit in the space here, but you to make it aesthetically
put them
pleasing?
In what they think are the alphabetical order. They could be putting them in by pay scale.
Who knows? Anyways, there you go. All right, so
it's funny because sometimes the names fall on their lines based on how famous you are.
Well, like that
if you go watch the original Superman movies,
yes,
Christopher Reeve didn't even get top billing until like the third movie.
But he was Superman.
Yeah, but Gene Hackman was there.
Oh yes, Gene Hackman would have been number one.
I think it was it was second or third movie, but it was like Gene Hackman first. The same thing I think in Batman. It was Jack Nicholson, then Michael Keaton. Anyway.
Anyhow, okay, so Book Club came out a couple of years ago, and it's basically about a group of women who get together for a book club. But they started in their 20s. They've been through their entire lives together, just getting together. I don't know if it was every week or every month for book club, which I thought was just really a great idea.
Well, people have those all the time.
To be getting together with your friends. Like I have a little group of friends that I talk to every single day.
And it was like 2018, and it was one of those like I liked all these ladies, they're all icons in the industry. It also was the first time that something made me actually want to watch a movie that might involve 50 Shades of Grey, because that's what the book they were reading. So then but they took that phenom of that sexual book that the ladies were loving, and they put it to some older,
a different generation
of older ladies, and then they made a movie about them finding their own lives and sex and everything else that you wouldn't expect these ladies to do. And the first movie is fun.
It is fun.
It's fun. It's heartfelt. It's great to watch.
Yeah, and there's one that's like her husband has passed. One that's her marriage is like blah. Another one that's never been married because she's been very independent. And another one who's just kind of like out on the dating scene doing her thing. So it's interesting to see all of these different paths of lives intersect, but you still have that core friendship that they're there for each other no matter what. And I always love movies that are based about these long-time, lifelong friendships.
Well, the one thing that I liked about the first film, and it does carry into the new film, is that we're never in a situation where they fight, all those kind of things, because friends fight. And friends will speak up, but we're never in a situation where somebody betrays somebody.
Yeah, no.
Or you find out somebody never really liked somebody, or they cheated on somebody. It's never that thing. It's always their friendship, but they all have different personalities, which is why their friendship works.
Mm-hmm.
But it evolves into something that really is them helping each other and trying to call each other out, and which is the kind
which is what you should do if you have good friends. Yeah.
So we were both actually excited to see the second one.
Yes. Now, this is funny because you teach a senior fitness class.
I do.
And the senior ladies are like, oh, well, we're going to go see a movie, but you wouldn't be interested.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see that
movie. And you're like, what movie? And they're like, oh, book club.
They were talking about, what happened?
It looked like a group of them were going today.
Yeah, because they commented on my review. There were a bunch of, but yeah, so what happened is they're talking about it. And then, of course, they look at me as like, doesn't it come out this Friday? And this was like last week. And I'm like, no, it doesn't come out this Friday. It comes out next Friday. Like, are you sure? We have a screening thing for the 9th or something. I said, that's probably like an early screening through AMC or something like that. And I said, they do that, but then no, it's released on the 12th. And like, well, how do we know that? I said, I have a website. I've been telling you about it. If you go to the website,
go to the website.
Just like HollywoodMatrimony.com. No one goes to our website like I tell them to. Anyway, so I've been excited. So I'm sure I'll hear about it tomorrow. Our differences of opinions about the movie. But this is not a movie that needed a sequel, but I'd be lying to say if I wasn't excited to see some fun with these ladies again.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. And
with Mary Steenburgen is my favorite in the group.
I know, you love her.
And she actually commented on our post, the first movie, when we did the review.
But did you say good things or bad things?
Yeah, I gave the first one a good review.
But did you give this one?
This one I gave it kind of a middle ground review, I think, because my problem with this new one, it is fun. It has a lot of great moments, especially like the last half of the movie when they're actually a lot more chaos. The first half of the movie, it limps along a little bit, but not in a bad way, in my opinion. It feels like there wasn't enough story to justify the entire length of the film. Mm-hmm. So the first portion of the movie just feels like we're just following them along throughout their day, and their banter, and it doesn't all work, but it feels like life. And it's like we're supposed to be going on this journey and adventure. We're not getting into a lot of the zaniness that they kind of setting up. We're getting like watching them walk down the street, and then watching them eat dinner, watching them go to a store, but it all seems to be the same scene, and not every joke is hitting. A lot of it feels like, I think you mentioned, they just feel like they're just filming these four ladies wandering around talking.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. I felt like the script this time wasn't as solid as the first one. I agree. The second half, once we're on the adventure and things are happening, it's a little bit more. But even throughout that, like the script wasn't very tight. I feel like it was like, okay, ladies, in this scene, you're just at this cafe, go. But they don't really give them lines.
Yeah.
The good thing is these four people have the ability to improv and be like, okay, the main thing we needed to get out of this discussion is we're going here.
Funny is it probably wasn't improv. It was probably scripted dialogue, but it felt
like it feels just so
forced sometimes.
Overly, forced, but then overly unnaturally boring. But then I'm like, are we that way with our friends? But I felt like there were such long pauses, or maybe it was just the way
some of it could have been the editing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like if you say like Jane Fonda says a line and then it kind of lingered before it cuts back, and there's no quick response.
There were a couple of lingering.
It feels like it cuts to somebody and they didn't respond in the amount of time a normal human would respond.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pause.
I think it was a little awkward cutting.
And to me, it seemed like Jane Fonda and Candice Bergen were the ones that suffered from that the most. And again, it felt like they also had some of the strongest lines and scenes in the later part of the movie.
They do.
But it felt like they were the ones that it seemed, and the more we discuss it, I think about it, I think it's more editing than a problem with their acting. Their acting was fine. It just, sometimes it felt like they'd say stuff that they probably wouldn't even actually say, because they were trying so hard to write for that character that, and then there was a lot
Maybe it would have been better if they said, hey,
just talk.
You're at this table. Yeah. The whole point of the scene is you all agree to go here.
Yeah.
You don't want to, you do.
And it's so predictable.
They probably could have done it.
It's kind of so predictable in its initial thing. So, like, in my opinion, the Mary Steenburgen storyline is probably the best of the story.
Correct.
Because hers is, once again, it's unexpected. You go in some new stuff.
There's some funny, stuff.
I kind of figured out where we were going with Diane Keaton pretty early on. Jane Fonda, you kind of figure out where we're going. And I think Candice Bergen had some strong moments too, because she felt like she got to be more stand out this time. She was using her judge status and her strong personality to kind of keep everybody in line.
Yeah.
And she's the strongest character in the group as far as just life. Like there's even a scene where they're all talking and kind of calling each other out. And they get to her and they're like, we got nothing. You're fine. Your life's perfect.
Yeah, because she's always known who she is and what she wants. She's the one that's always like dating and meeting new people. So she's fine.
So I think some of it was a loss. Like, we say all this stuff, and it probably sounds like we hated this movie.
I liked it. I was cracking up.
It was funny.
Me and like the other 4 people in the theater, but I was cracking up. Yeah. I was wondering if we went too late for the early seniors.
Because we
went early.
We went at like 4 something because we had time. So that's what we like to go, because we don't like people anymore. It's like
no, but I was like, maybe the seniors will be there because I want to see, because it is a group. That's
something else that I wrote in my review is that I think this movie is going to connect with that audience.
Yeah, we're not the core audience.
They're going to find it funny, and they're going to connect with some of the things. It's like when you watch, if I watch a martial arts movie, I can connect with it on a different level of somebody that's not into martial arts, even if it's a sucky movie. You with something in Spanish or music.
Yes.
Sometimes you connect in different ways.
Or if you love Don Johnson.
Yeah, and why is it that all the men in this movie look exactly the same and all the women look like they got older?
Well,
except for Mary Steenburgen. She still looks...
Steenburgen?
Virgin, yes.
Andy Garcia still looks the same. He's just a little
got some gray hair. Don Johnson just seems to look better every time.
He's older. He's visibly.
But he looks.
I mean, he's not Miami Vice anymore, but he's still a handsome man.
But he seems that as he's gotten older, he's gotten better looking.
He is handsome. I'm gonna tell you, I love me some Don Johnson.
Because he was on that show with Kenan Thompson, and he's done good stuff.
Yeah, the father.
And it seems like from that movie to this, and from the last movie to this, because we rewatched the first one.
You know who never ages is Craig T. Nelson. Like, he got to this age.
Well, he looks old now.
No, but he got to that age with the balding head, and he never changed. For like the past 30 years, he's looked the same.
He looks the same in Young Sheldon as this, and it's just...
I love him, by the way.
I do
He's
too.
so fun, and I feel like he's such a quiet fun.
That's why you need to watch Action Jackson. You can see him as a bad guy.
I guess I love Andy Garcia. That's what I'm here for, to support my people.
Is that why you're?
Yes. But yeah.
But yeah, it's fairly predictable. It's kind of by the numbers.
But it's cute.
There's a couple of moments that I think we're supposed to not realize what's about to happen, but it's very obvious what's happening.
It's cute.
But it's fine. It's also not trying to be a mystery. It's not trying to be anything other than what it is.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. I do want to give it major props. I love the way it started. What?
I love these celebrity dolls.
I love the way it started. Yes. It plays into the COVID pandemic.
Yes, I did like
because it gives you better reason to bring it back together.
Book club to this book club, here's what's been happening. So they give us,
and they're all online, and so it's showing their lives living in the pandemic and how we haven't seen each other. And the reason that's so important, because you could easily be like,
why do we need another book club?
Yeah. But with the first movie, we're meeting them all the first time, and you're learning about their book club. They could have easily just started the movie at another book club, and then it's kind of thing. Well, why would you get that excited about seeing each other again? Why would you get that excited about taking a trip? And in this case, you have like your whole opening sequence of each one of them and the stuff they're learning and the stuff they're doing and not knowing how to work computers. It kind of adds this nice, fun reason of not only their life and the craziness of why they want to do all these new things, but also the excitement they're getting to see each other again after a few years, because they'd been in lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a smart choice. And I'm assuming they probably started shooting this movie during COVID, so they probably had to shoot stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to wonder if that's how it was originally written, or if that was COVID added, happened.
Then they added
and they were
that.
trying to think, and they said, okay, let's shoot it like this, and we'll shoot it on the phone.
But it did give them a reason to come back together in person.
Yeah, so it made me feel like there's a reason we're here, not just let's just watch them in their book club again.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a fun movie. It's not as good as the first one, in my opinion. It has fun moments.
I cracked up. It's not as funny, I think, but it's funny.
I know a lot of people still, especially seniors, it's weird, still have a big problem with Jane Fonda. I like Jane Fonda, although I will say, I mean, she's 80 something now, or 80. Mm-hmm. And she's starting to look her thing of trying to still be the glamorous one all the time.
Her face is so put together, and then you may see her hands, and it gets the giveaway of her neck.
I think her playing the roles where she's always the glamorous one is starting to not work.
Yeah,
and I'm not meaning that as she's an ugly woman.
No,
it's just I don't think it fits, and she's so tiny now.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been a thin woman, and always a pretty woman. Now she looks super thin and skinny, and I think that's why I think Mary Steenburgen probably looks the best of all of them, because she looks natural sized. She looks her age, if not a little younger, but she just has that
cute, you just like her. You think she's cute.
But she just has this, and it's not an attracted to her thing.
She's cute though.
But she has that cute personality. She has that kind of mentality that she you could just talk to her and she's like, hey there.
Yeah.
Not a celebrity. Like, I kind of would think that Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen were probably jerks if you met them as a celebrity. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that's the personality I see. Diane Keaton, I think she'd probably be awkward and doesn't really want to talk to anybody.
She just seems a little weird, but I mean, that's her style.
If I was locked up and saw Mary Steenburgen at a McDonald's, she'd be like, hey. That's just the vibe I get.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, it's a fun movie. It is what it is. I think it didn't do really well at the box office.
That's too bad.
But also, a lot of the people that it's probably the audience for may not be going to the movies.
Correct. They may wait until later. So who knows?
If you like the first one, it's worth checking out. Just watch it for what it is and have a good time.
Okay. Here's some interesting facts.
All right.
Diane Keaton, I don't think is married or has. Diane Keaton, I don't know if she's ever been married.
I don't think so. I think there's always been discussion that people are wondering if she was straight, gay, or what.
But she got a kid. Yeah, okay. Jane Fonda, we know, was married to Ted Turner for about
20
years, but then they've been divorced since 2001.
Yeah, I knew that.
Candice Steenburgen, I didn't realize.
Mary Steenburgen?
Sorry.
With Ted Danson?
Hold on. I'm right now with Candice Bergen.
Okay.
She's been married to the same person since 2000. Go, girl. Yes, Mary Steenburgen, I didn't realize was married to Ted Danson since 1995.
Yeah, they've been together forever.
Woo! 95.
Yeah, I knew that.
Craig T. Nelson has been married since 1987. Don Johnson's been married since 1999. I'm digging this group of people
Well,
right
you know
here.
who Don
And
Johnson was
Andy
married to before that then?
Andy Garcia's been married since 82.
So do you know who Don Johnson was married to before 1999?
Oh, who?
He was married to Melanie Griffith.
Oh, really?
That's why Dakota Johnson, her daughter,
True, but Dakota Johnson also claims
looks at Antonio Banderas,
Antonio
her stepdad.
Banderas as her puppy,
But,
which is sweet.
Which is funny because she's the star of 50 Shades of Grey that they're reading about in the first movie.
Which is awkward turtle. It's got to be awkward to see your child do naked
sexy stuff.
I wonder if Don Johnson and or Antonio Banderas saw it, like to go support my
sure
kid.
They probably did.
But then they're like,
I used to be super hot for Melanie Griffith, so I could tell you everything.
But
not so much now.
Her poor face.
She had so much, looks like a lot of plastic surgery.
Yeah,
she always had that cutie voice that doesn't fit well when you become older. You know, or like really when you get past the 40s, it just becomes weird.
Yeah.
Like I know somebody else like that, and it's like you can't help it. It is what it is. But
I do appreciate their whole family thing, like the Johnsons and the Banderases and everybody. Like they still all get together.
That's
like,
how the Willis's family is, and the Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, which is,
and,
I guess, in theory, how it should be, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, why are people fighting?
Because I'm better than everybody else.
That's an ongoing, like I have an ex-wife and all this stuff, and we discuss it sometimes, and I never understood, like, we've been married almost 17 years, been together longer than that, and I'm like, how many years do we have to pass this? It doesn't matter anymore. I don't care. But, you know, sometimes for the longest time, we still be like,
we got along great at this past wedding.
I know, they're apparently best friends now.
We're best friends.
I just don't understand in general with people about, like, how, especially when you're dealing with kids, especially as adult kids.
Yeah,
like,
now it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter.
Get over
anymore.
it and support them because you want to see them at their weddings or their kids' births or birthday parties. Just get along, don't talk, but be cordial. There's no reason to be assholes about each other.
I agree.
Anyway, book club, The Next Chapter. I have no idea why that was conversation. The book club, The Next Chapter is in theaters now. If you like the first one, go check it out.
And it was a special Mother's Day event.
It was. That was the hope to open it on Mother's Day weekend, and I still don't think it helped it very much. But you're also fighting against Guardians 3, and Mario Brothers is still the number 3 movie.
I'm hungry. I want to go out for Mother's Day. Take me out to eat for Mother's Day. I want a steak.
You ain't my mother?
No, but I'm a good stepmother to your
children.
Yeah.
Are you though?
I'm a good grandma.
Are you though?
I am a good grandma. I wipe that child's butt. So I take care of her, buy her whatever she wants, and then sometimes I tell her no when she's been bad.
It sounds to me like you've been scammed and getting taken advantage of a lot.
Right. For free.
Because I'm not doing any of those things.
Free babysitting. Okay, we're moving on to something absolutely, completely different. The movie Unwelcome. I liked this poster. It's the Spanish version, but it says, if you break a promise, you will have to pay the price.
And neither one of us knew anything about this movie going into it, other than it was like based on Irish folklore.
Yes, of the little what are they called? The red hats.
Red caps.
Red caps, which are I guess fairy folk.
Yeah. So we dived into this movie to see what we were going to get. I thought it was going to be like a horror film, and it kind of is.
Kind of, yeah.
But it's
a very kind of a drama.
It's a very hit and miss movie. There's a good movie there.
It's odd.
Yeah, there's a good movie there.
Okay, so first, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say first, do you believe in fairy or fairy folk or the kind where? Remember, even in that funny movie where the singing contest where they go and they stop at the little houses and give it food or whatever.
No idea what you're talking about.
Eurovision.
Oh.
But you know, all these things. So in that part of the world with the fairies and the Irish and
but as I said in the movie, so in this thing involves a couple who move into this house they inherit.
Correct.
And there's this little door and a little cubby thing next to the door, this brick wall, and they're told they need to leave an offering of blood, usually like a liver or something.
You can leave cow blood or
raw meat for the red caps, and then it keeps them at bay, and there's no issues.
Correct.
So if somebody was to tell me that, first of all, I'd be like, why do you want to stay living there? But
this is in Ireland.
I am a firm believer that, do I believe these little creatures are probably real in real life? No.
Yes.
Do I believe I don't think it's going to hurt me at all to just make sure?
Yes.
You know, because the problems is when you're wrong, things go horribly wrong.
Oh, this version is saying they're goblins. Well, if I'd known that, then heck yeah.
They were kind of goblin-y.
I thought they were more like malevolent fairies.
You saw them. No, they're like goblins.
No. But I'm saying when they first introduced the whole concept of the ladies, like,
no,
hey,
I never thought fairies. You're reading a book about fairies, so you keep making everything fairies.
Okay, fine. They're little goblins.
But yeah, so it's like one of those things. I don't ever understand. First you have the question of why would somebody live somewhere when they've been said, hey, somebody's died, and now you got to give a blood offering to something. Then why would you want to live there?
Exactly.
Because
that's my thing.
Forget the supernatural element. That's just freaking weird. Why would you, what else is going on around these people that you want to live near that need blood
That's
offerings?
what I said. I was like, I'm not doing that.
You have the fear that it's real.
I know it's real.
I'm like, these people around me are just weirdos. Why don't I
want to...
I'm not arguing that.
They're goblins or whatever. If there's some entity that requires a blood sacrifice,
I'm just saying,
I'm out.
If there's all these people that believe that heavily into it, even if it's nonsense,
I'm out of here.
Why do you want to be around all that?
Exactly. But
so it's like, why not just put the blood out until you can get rid of the place?
But here's the thing. Would you take a free big
Of course I would. Like I said,
with a house like a castle?
Yes, and I would put a piece of liver out there 2-3 times a day because I don't eat liver and don't care. And I don't mind slaughtering a chicken once in a while. I just go
just go buy chicken livers.
I would buy a whole chicken, cut it, and spray blood everywhere, and be like, "Y'all have a buffet."
Okay, so if you do the blood offering, I will be okay.
I'll be glad to do
as long as we can cleanse the house.
As long as if they say that's all you have to do, that takes 3 seconds.
Babe, then we're sacrificing to some evil entity.
I don't give 2 craps.
That's like
have you seen the housing market?
Bible.
Have you seen the housing market?
The Bible or housing market?
Forget the Bible's not helping me with the housing market. If I'm getting a free house and all I got to do, I'm not blood sacrificing against anything I believe. I'm feeding something to keep it from bothering people. So in theory, if you think about it in a different form, you're thinking about it directly like I'm giving offerings to evil, therefore I am evil. Yeah. What I'm thinking is I'm the hero because I'm giving the blood to protect all those around me.
Us.
I'm keeping evil out of the universe. You look at it the wrong way,
This is the conversation we had while the movie started, okay?
You're thinking about it the wrong way. You think too much about your Bible part.
That's all.
But would the Bible not tell you to rise up and fight against Satan?
Yes, but not by giving it a blood offering.
But if that's what keeps Satan at bay and saves your church, would you do it?
No.
If they came and said, Satan's here, we got to get this blood to keep him away from us and protect our home, protect our church.
No.
And the only thing you can do is put blood on the outside parking lot of your church.
Well, that's different because that did happen. It's different. Remember in the Moses movie where they put the blood on the lintelas to keep let death pass.
That's the same
thing. Okay. Well, maybe as long as you're the one doing it and not me, because I'm not getting my hands dirty.
So here, pretty much, just so you'll know how every one of these arguments goes that I normally win, is I just have to keep talking in circles enough till she remembers some sort of a Bible verse that goes with what I'm saying, and then she'll agree to me.
Okay, but I'm not going to do it. You would do it, right?
Oh, I don't give a shit. I'll say another with a water gun and blood. Be like,
okay. Anyway,
so my thing is, these movies have issues with. Mine's not the hoogie stuff because initially the movie you don't know what's real and what's not. You know, if these people are just crazy.
There could be,
but I have an issue of why would anybody stay there? That was never a discussion in the movie. They just said, these people are nuts. Okay, you're living around crazy people. Why would that not be a discussion?
That is a discussion.
If you move into a house and your next door neighbor is slaughtering cows in your front yard and being rude to you, issues, we would be having a discussion. Are we going to move? Mm-hmm. Not just like, they're weird. Okay, I guess that's just how people are.
No, but they're contending with a very strange family that's supposedly there to help fix up their house, but they just wander into their house.
And this is where my biggest issue in this movie
is. And using their bathroom and spying on them. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
So that's weird enough, but the catalyst that sets this movie up in their move involves them being attacked by
a home invasion.
Yeah, a home invasion is just some assholes. And it's not something that carries into the story from them. It was a one-time thing that happened, but they got away from the city and the dangers they were dealing with. And to me, that should have immediately put them on the defensive of anybody that might have PTSD from the attacks and the traumas, the circumstances of what happened because of it. So the first time somebody walked into my house that I didn't know,
I'm out.
Somebody was getting shot, or we're gonna have a major problem. And in this case, you have the couple where you always have one that's more accepting and one that's the asshole about it. And they're like, honey, it's okay. That's just how they are here. We just got to get used to that. I'm like, nobody walks into my house. That's never nowhere where I'm at. And if you tell me that's how things are here, then guess what? Let me tell you about the new rules. It's like my friend. I actually have a friend that every time he came over, rest in peace, that he would always just walk in my house.
Mm-hmm.
When we got married, I said, you can't just walk in my house anymore. I have a wife and she might be naked or whatever. Who knows what's happening? And he's like, yeah, but I was here first. I'm like, well, the rules are rules, man. You can't just walk in anytime you want. So circumstances change. And that was one of the most frustrating parts of this movie for me, is nobody seemed to really care enough or want to change or even have conversations with them about, hey, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Had they even one time before things got bad said, y'all can't just come in our house like this. I need you to make an appointment. I need you to let me know you're coming, or you need to knock before you walk in. Then it might have been able to let it go.
Yeah.
But it never happened.
It was weird. That whole part of it was weird.
And all that seemed to be served no purpose other than to set up people to kill.
Yeah. Now, my favorite part were the little goblin people.
Yes, that's when the movie actually gets really good.
That was really cool.
But that's only like, 30 minutes of the movie or something?
Yeah, about the last half or so, less than half of it. That was the whole best part. Once we get into that and what they're doing, and there's some creepy things that happen. Don't want to give it away. But I think the coolest thing is, I was looking it up, those were actual actor people.
Yeah, I figured. I could tell they're people in suits.
Yeah, they're people. Yeah. They're people in costumes.
Like little people.
No, they filmed it.
Or they do the shrink things.
They filmed it on double-sided sets, so they looked small, and then they
like that shot Elf.
Yes, yeah. Correct. And so I liked it. I liked the weird. You can kind of see there the weird heads.
They got like
they put headdresses on them and the costumes.
They're elves, like goblin
They're
elves.
Just the coolest thing, and their teeth are all like cool. I thought that part was cool. So I found that part entertaining. If we could skip all of the other stuff and just go straight there,
had we got
make it a short film of just that.
Had we got to that earlier in the film, I felt they spent way too long setting all this crap up, and finally get to the meat of it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. They finally get to the meat of it, and you're like, okay, things are about to happen, and then they set up more.
Yeah.
Well, and then we finally get to it, and it's like, finally, and then once it's happened, you're having a blast.
Yeah,
but then it's over.
And like someone says, it's a tonal mismatch from the first part of the movie to the second half, and how easily people just kind of accept and transition to it without any, like, you're asking, like, why didn't anybody ask questions? Why didn't somebody say something?
I don't like people parking in front of my house.
But how easily, once the goblins arrive and all this stuff happens with that weirdo family, it's just like, okay. And nobody says anything.
There's goblins here.
Oh, there's goblins. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of lack
fantastic, good horror, ludicrous but entertaining.
It's not
funny,
a bad movie.
Uneven but good.
That's
a horror film
exactly
for horror fans.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's like watching Critters or Ghoulies or something like that.
They're saying this film's endearing, but it is way out there.
Yeah, it takes too long to get anywhere. It is very uneven, like they said.
Yeah.
Like the first movie could have been the story of they had the home invasion, they move out, and then they deal with, and this is a part of the story where the guy, she's really struggling with this guy not being brave enough to help because he's traumatized. That's a whole other
story too.
He's traumatized by what happened, so now he's fearful.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's weak, it's because he got the crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
And couldn't do anything, and that kind of checks you, and you got to find that place. That could have been a movie by itself, where the whole movie is about their relationship and him having to find himself and her thinking he's a weak person, and and
that was a movie of itself.
That is in there, but it's lost in this crazy family that now you have the family that seem like they're the crazy people are going to murder, because that's where we were going in the movie.
Yeah. Then
it shifts into this supernatural element. So there's so many things that's happened. It's just too much.
There's like 4 different movies happening.
Yeah.
Once we get to the end with the goblins, that movie takes over.
Then it gets bloody.
Then it's
fun
good.
And,
it's great. But
yeah,
so I mean, if it's near you somewhere, check it out.
Well,
it's
if you go to our website,
hey, HollywoodMatrimony.com,
you can win a copy and check it out without paying for anything. So
love that.
It's not bad, but it ain't great either.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which
I totally forgot about.
May have the similar thing you just said. Not bad, but not great.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
All right, this movie is called The Mother.
Mother.
Not to be confused with the movie Mother. Come my way. Not to be confused with the movie Mother with Jennifer. The other Jennifer, not Jennifer Lopez, but Mother with Jennifer Lawrence. That's why this one's called The Mother.
Sorry.
This is Jennifer Lopez and The Mother. So basically in this story, Jennifer Lopez we see is some sort of an agent has a child, and it looks like they have to go into hiding. That is not at all what happens, but that's what the trailer makes you think. I have mixed,
It's a very
I have
predictable
mixed
action
feelings because I love everything Jennifer Lopez pretty much.
Sorry, we have something pop
I've
up.
been recently on my Jennifer Lopez marathon this year, watching everything that she's been in. I like seeing the
Hold on,
aspect of
hold
her.
on.
Oh no, you're gonna play Mother. We do not own this music.
We don't.
Do not take down our video.
I'll cut it off in a second. You have a certain amount that you can play before.
Okay. We do not own this.
It's relevant to
no
this.
copyrights.
All right,
Okay.
You don't know that song?
No. Who's
Oh,
that?
it's Danzig.
I don't know who that is. I know who Charles Danson is. Or Ted Danson. I don't know.
Danzig.
Okay, I don't know Danzig.
Dear God.
Tell me Danzig. Anyways, okay. I'm torn on this one because I was saying I like seeing tough Jennifer Lopez, fit Jennifer Lopez, shooting things, fighting things. I like seeing that. I feel like this.
I like old Jennifer Lopez. I like Jennifer Lopez before she became J-Lo.
Yeah, you like Jenny from the Block.
No, I don't like Jenny from the Block. I like before J-Lo and Jenny from the Block and all that crap.
That Jenny from the Block was before J-Lo. That's what I'm saying.
I don't like Jenny from the Block
Okay.
before her music career.
You wanted Jennifer Lopez.
I like Jennifer Lopez. I liked the movie U-Turn when she was still Hispanic. I liked because she's like, you want to see almost Chola version of Jennifer. Have you watched U-Turn yet?
I haven't seen
That's
that one yet. I don't have that. Do we have that?
No, because someone borrowed it years ago and never returned
Oh my
it.
gosh.
I love that movie.
I'll
watch that one with you, but
this movie, it's fine. I feel like it could have been anybody playing this role is a thing that I think that's kind of disappointing because I want to see somebody like totally embrace it and make it their own. And I feel like we could have had any other beautiful tough lady.
It's
do
essentially
this.
the same movie we watched with what's her face not long ago. The chick from Mom, Allison Janney, where she was that spy or whatever, and
yes,
basically had to protect her kid
protect
or
the kid
somebody
in the forest or whatever.
it's-
This one, she has to protect her kid in the forest from wolves. I mean,
it's the same movie you've seen
same
every
thing.
single time.
It is exactly that movie.
It's the same exact movie.
Oh my gosh, that's
It's
why.
basically, a lady. In this case, it makes a little more sense of
There's
what she
other
does.
things happening.
It has some decent action in it. But it's
fine.
predictable, and I mean, I give her credit. I mean, she seems to be going all in.
I think she did good on the action stuff and the fighting stuff and the shooting stuff.
Like, I'm not a big fan of hers in general, and I haven't been a big fan of most movies that she's made. Although I did like that stripper movie she made.
Yes, that was good.
What was the name of that movie?
She worked hard on that movie.
Yeah, that movie was just really good. I mean, it was a good movie, not because of
Hustlers.
Hustlers. I'm not talking about the way she looks in that movie and dancing naked or anything. That was just a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that movie in Missouri. At that weird theater. Yeah. Kind of sketchy theater. We like going to theaters.
No, it wasn't Missouri. It was in the South, wasn't it?
Where were we at?
Somewhere.
Was that where in California?
No, we were in the South somewhere. We took a road trip. Where were we?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Because that's where we were at the convention, and Missouri was where we drove home. We drove through Missouri on the way from Chicago.
Yeah, that was a different trip.
It was Mississippi. Yeah, you're right.
It was a little bit ghetto theater, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we like going to theaters in different places and just seeing.
We'll go everywhere. Anywho, I think it was fine.
Yeah, it's an action movie. It's pretty much a movie you've seen 100 times.
I wish it would have been great, but it's fine.
It's a movie you expect to see on Netflix.
Correct. No, but and she did a good job with all the action stuff. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It felt.
Yeah, it is.
There's not a lot to say about this movie because it's so kind of generic.
Lady fighting to save her child. There you go.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Like, I didn't hate it. Like, I didn't finish it and go, oh my God, that movie sucked. It's enjoyable just because you're getting to watch people get shot and beat up and all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I just felt like as I'm watching, I've seen this movie many times. And I feel like it feels like a movie that would be a straight to DVD movie, like one of the many Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis movies that just comes out, kind of comes and goes. But I think it's a movie that's worth watching on Netflix.
Yeah, watch it. I mean,
I don't think it's a movie I would recommend to go to the theater. Because it just feels like everything kind of walks through the motions. It doesn't feel anything was really pushed. It doesn't feel like they tried to make any big twists. You kind of know everything right away. And the rest of us just watching everybody trying to make some shoot, kill, and trying to build a relationship between these two characters that in reality, I feel like by the end of it, didn't really matter. You know what I mean? Because it kind of just goes back to where it started.
Yeah.
So
it's fine. It was fine.
But if you like Jennifer Lopez and you like action, it's worth checking out.
I watch every Jennifer Lopez thing.
Like another movie like this, it highly disappointed me because I thought it was a missed opportunity. Because I thought it was going to be really good as that movie Peppermint. Which is that? Yes. Is that Hilary Swank?
No, the Alias. The other Jennifer, related to this Jennifer.
She's not related to her, is she?
Yeah, by marriage now, somewhat. Ben Affleck. Jennifer, the other Jennifer that Ben Affleck was married to. Not Lawrence, it's the other one. Garner,
thank you.
Because that's the other wife, right? Was that Ben Affleck?
Yes. So they're not related at all.
They are related because they both have the same husband.
No, they're not related.
Well,
but
I call it intermingled.
One's a mom and one's a stepmom.
They are commingled. Well, they're both stepmoms to each other's kids. How about that?
That's what I'm saying.
So
I don't think Ben Affleck and J-Lo have kids together.
But Jennifer Lopez has kids.
Oh, I know. That means she's now stepdad. That doesn't make her the stepmom.
Well, they're all together.
She wouldn't be a stepmom to her kids.
Well, they're all together.
She'd be a stepmom to his kids if he had them. So Jennifer Lopez is stepmom to his kids.
When you're so commingled at this point,
no,
they're all together at the same time.
We don't even know they're that commingled. You just created this whole thing.
I imagine they all hang out.
I imagine they all want everything to do with each other.
I don't know.
But anyway, that movie Peppermint she did, which is kind of that same movie where she's going out for vengeance. That movie is a good movie, but it wastes a lot of time that they could have been like training or doing all these different things. It kind of jumps ahead.
Yeah.
And while I think it as a core structure is a better movie, I think this movie at least explains it and gets to the point faster. So it's the same kind of thing. So
see, Jennifer Garner goes on vacation with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck and all the multitudes of everybody's commingled children.
I like that you just believe everything.
I believe everything. Who knows?
She believes everything except for stuff I say.
Yeah.
If she read it on Yahoo News, it's true. But if I say it, really?
Well, and right now, according to the news, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are having problems. But
I don't think they're having problems.
The problem is she should not have gotten married because once she gets married is when the curse happens. If they had just stayed dating forever, they would have been better off.
I actually think they're probably in a good place now because I think so. After all the thing that killed their relationship the first time was the press.
Yeah.
It caused them to have problems, and they were both trying to live up to what everybody was making them, and it wasn't. Ben Affleck, he was on Stern and talked about it, and it was like, we got caught up in everything they're doing. Their studios are putting us in movies together because we're the thing, and it just we loved working together, but it didn't work that way, and
they'll never do that.
And I think I don't know if you ever watched the video yet of when he's getting her in the car. Have you seen it yet?
This recent one?
Yeah, somebody's posted about how you can see there's unhappiness in this relationship because Ben Affleck looks like this.
He always looks like that.
I know he always looks like he's just bummed. Yeah, but she's getting there. He opens the door for her. She gets in the car but she's, if you want to read the body language and write it in something.
Well, they have body language experts and
well, if you want to watch it,
lip readers, always watching their videos.
If you want to watch it like what you think is happening, she looks like she gets in the car like her security detail opened the door for her. She just gets in. But you also have to look at the vibe of your life creation, where Jennifer Lopez is a mega superstar with the music and the movies and the TVs and all this stuff, where Ben Affleck is a filmmaker and an actor. He's a superstar. He's not J-Lo level superstar at where she's created now.
Yeah.
So she probably has, that's part of where I give leeway of people that coming off like a bitch, because they almost have to, because that's how you have to keep people at a distance.
Yeah.
And so when she goes to get in a car, she's in sunglasses and a coat, and she quickly gets in the car. There's nobody around it, but there's paparazzi who's taking this video. So she probably doesn't want to be involved. So they're not looking at him. He's looking like he's annoyed, and he's probably annoyed about the paparazzi, or they could have had some simple argument that me and you've had a similar argument. And he shuts the door for her. When he shuts, he's like, screw you. Yeah, but they could have had some stupid argument. And then when he comes around that corner, he looks up, and they cut the video at this point. He looks up at the camera, and he's like, so you can tell he's annoyed by the paparazzi.
It is annoying.
Maybe it had nothing to do with them two. Yeah. He could have come around the corner where they were leaving from and see them and be like, these guys again. And now that's what he's annoyed about. But now we also do you get to hear sound?
Because they're screaming at them the entire time.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. It
So-
could be like when you put me in the car, you're like, get in and shut up. Close the door.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
There's nothing
really?
wrong.
We're not even fighting. It's endearing.
I'm like, get in there.
Because he opened the door and he's like, get in and shut up. Okay. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Anyways, check out the movie The Mother on Netflix.
Ben Affleck is not in that movie.
He is not.
But his movie Air is now on Prime Video, and it's excellent.
Okay. Okay, here we go. This movie, Fool's Paradise, starring all of these wonderful, amazing people.
Charlie Day,
but Charlie Day is our lead.
Ray Liotta, one of his final roles.
Yes, I was surprised to see him there. I was like, wait.
Ken Jeong, Kate Beckinsale.
Jason Sudeikis, Edie Falco, Jason Bateman Common.
Edie Falco, I loved her makeup in this movie.
And John Malkovich.
Did you even tell that was her?
Yes.
Or she's that
just
Asian
crazy,
lady.
just like, boom.
So this is also Charlie Day's directorial debut.
It's amazing, y'all.
So he plays dual characters in the movie.
And he's directing.
Yeah, he's directing. He's dual characters. I think he might have been involved in writing as well.
Mm.
But his main character that we see throughout the whole movie never speaks.
Correct.
So it's almost like he's playing up a Buster Keaton like silent film part in a world of film with sound.
Yes.
So it's very interesting, and there's a reason he doesn't speak in the movie. I don't want to give away, but I think he speaks at the end of the movie or something. But anyway, it's not really relevant. But I liked this movie. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was quirky.
It's quirky.
I was surprised. I read a review of this movie that they talked about there's not a single laugh in this movie. And I'm like, what movie were you watching?
Oh my gosh, the entire thing is hilarious.
Yeah, the only thing they gave credit
Not
to
that
was
one.
Ray Liotta's scene. And they're like, that's the only shining light in this movie was Ray Liotta's scene. The rest of this movie just has no laughs and it's boring and you're suffering through this of whatever nonsense he's trying to pull off. And I'm like, this is somebody who's doesn't get it.
You didn't get it, buddy, whoever you were.
Which I have another review I want to talk about with you here in a second because it's just a ridiculous nature and I want your opinion of it. But anyway, so you had never heard this movie at all.
Never heard of it.
I only knew of it because I had the poster and I uploaded the trailer, but I didn't know much about it either.
Yes.
So what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed this movie. I had no idea what I was getting into. It starts off and it's a talkie. There's like so much happening. And I was like, whoa, let me back up. I got to start again so I can pay attention to what's happening. There's so much happening. And what I find intriguing there's so many things on several levels. I think it's a very, like someone said here, it's a satirical comedy take on the industry and Hollywood.
And I'm all in on anything about Hollywood. Like that's why I enjoyed Babylon more than you did.
Correct.
Because I love that whole world of Hollywood and the weirdness
but I think this really could happen. You pick someone up, you push them in front of a camera, and suddenly it's like, "Hi, I'm your publicist. I'm your agent. 20%. He's this guy. 20%. He gets this guy 5%." And Edie Falco's like, "I'll be your agent. I take 20%. This guy he takes 10. This guy takes 5. This is your intern. We don't pay him, but by California law, we have to give him whatever."
Well, then somebody whispers in like, "Oh, we have to pay them now.
Yeah,
they get 5%.
Now interns are paid." So all these things, and it's just happening, and you're getting pushed through what I feel like is the machine of movie making and stardom, where they create you, but they also make you fall, which I did find interesting, similar to Babylon, where at the end, remember, what's his name suddenly is not popular anymore, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And so all the phones stop ringing. And it's just because one person decided, or you had one bad review,
or something,
and so everything shuts off.
Think about
so that was one
movies
thing.
Like this
I got to
really
make
me think more about actors we were fans of.
Yes.
Right. And you think about, like we were talking about Jason Statham.
Yes.
Because he's got 3 movies coming out this year with the new Fast and Furious movie, the Meg 2, and Expendables 4.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the last movie you saw Jason Statham in? Last year he had Operation Fortune, which we still haven't seen yet.
Did we not see it?
No, we never watched it.
It was going to be a Fast and Furious or a...
But he might have done something he may not
Transporter.
have. Then it starts making you wonder about... Then you think about somebody. You asked me about Ludacris. Has he done anything else?
Yes, I only see Ludacris in Fast and Furious, but we've all.
But his career was a music industry.
Yeah.
But he hasn't put a new album out that I'm aware of.
I think he's producing.
Yeah, so it's like it's interesting when you see somebody and they're like the thing, and then they're gone.
Yes.
Do you remember? I don't remember her name. It was a blonde girl, but she was in the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes movie. She was like the main girl, and she was like the new it thing. She was showing up in everything, and then suddenly she was gone.
This one.
And but
Yeah.
there's a
Did
lot
something
of
happen?
I
This
don't
one,
know.
Estella Warren.
Yes, she was in
I remember her
everything for a
face. She
while.
was so pretty.
Colin Farrell had the same thing happen. He came on the scene and he
But
was in
he
everything.
knew,
And then all of a
in
sudden,
that roundtable interview, he's like, "Yeah, I got too big for my own head.
he goes,
I got
and all
so
of a sudden
put
he
up so
disappeared.
high."
And you start thinking, oh, they're coming back. Where'd they been? You know, and sometimes it's the Brendan Fraser situation where something happened and it stays step back.
But
Sometimes it's too much for them. Or
yeah,
it's
and Colin
addiction
Farrell
or,
said, "I got too big headed, and quickly as a young man got put up so high on a pedestal that when I had a personal life problem, boom, it was over." He's like, "It was over." So he talks
and then
in
it
that
makes
roundtable
then it
interview.
creates that illusion that where did you go? And now you're suddenly, oh, it's a resurgent. But sometimes these people never went anywhere.
They never went anywhere.
You're just not seeing the projects they're doing because they're not doing the big
Big
budget
things, or they could be doing theater. They could have found something
Yeah.
they really love more. And
when was the last movie you saw Denzel Washington in?
he's been doing theater.
That I could be wrong because there's probably other stuff, but the last one I remember was that Macbeth movie.
Oh, it was so good.
Which is a great movie, but it's not a movie that most people will watch.
Most people wouldn't get it. Yeah,
You know?
that was his last thing.
Now he's got the Equalizer 3 coming
now
out, but it's like, so it's interesting with these Hollywood type films of who replaces who, and
that's discussed in this like multiple times. Well, this is the new
when
one.
you
This
get
is
too
the
big
new
for your
one.
britches, you can be replaced. Are you the next, Tom Cruise, or are you, some random person? Austin Butler shows up. Austin Butler's been around for a long time.
He was in my Shania Chronicles.
But nobody really knew who Austin Butler was outside of the people that watch those shows.
Shania, yeah.
Until Elvis. How long will he be around? It depends on how that individual handles their career. Mayim Bialik is a perfect example. She was Blossom. She was massive. And then we didn't see her anymore until she came back.
She went to go become a neuroscientist or something.
Well, no, but we didn't see her again from Blossom really until she joined the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and this movie's kind of deal with this kind of stuff.
It is totally the machine and the mechanism behind it that, unfortunately, just because you're a good actor doesn't mean you're going to have a great career, which is unfair.
Yeah.
Because it has to do with the agents and the publicists and who knows who and who can get you through the door, and that's unfair. So I like that we get kind of that inside look into it, and I like to the relationships that he gets involved in unwittingly, perhaps. The people that take him under his wing, some of them are good influences and some of them are bad influences. Some of the things that happen to him are because it had nothing to do with him at all. He just happened to be in the wrong place, the wrong time.
The quirky elements that they play in on of the ideas of the method actors and the other actors understanding. So when a person comes in and doesn't speak, they're like, I totally get what you're doing here.
Get it.
And the guy's not doing anything. He's just not speaking because he doesn't speak. And he's confused, but that actor immediately sees it as, I love what you're doing.
I wish I could do that. That's
Man, you were so strong with that part, and I love that choice. And there was no choice made, but it's the different perspective.
And that's where the funny comes in to me. I thought it was hilarious.
It was very
Who said it wasn't funny?
I don't know, but it was very much, they took a silent film actor, and again, it plays into that Babylon idea.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in there.
He couldn't transition into the talkies from the silent film star.
Yeah.
Because his fame was more his looks. But he apparently wasn't as good an actor as everybody thought when he had to actually speak on film. In this case, this guy is not an actor. He doesn't speak. But he brings that Buster Keaton style comedy and mannerisms, which big props to Charlie Day, because that's hard
got
to
to
do.
be a difficult role. That's what I was going to say. I would like to ask him, how difficult was this also? Because there's times where all these other actors are around you doing crazy things. Like, I would have bust out laughing.
Yeah, and I'm sure there probably was a lot of
oh my gosh, because he's just known for being so funny. There's so many good people. Oh my gosh, the stylist lady, I love her too.
Oh yeah.
Anywho,
that was one of my favorites too, when the stylists will all show up and all three of them are talking and yelling.
Oh my gosh, you look so great. You look great. And then the one person leaves, like, oh my gosh, did you see what she was wearing? I mean, that whole thing, it's so fake. I think the other thing that I was gonna comment on, I wrote some notes on a napkin now. The idea of being silent when everything is happening, but then sometimes because you don't have a loud enough voice, you get taken advantage of. And I think that's something that everyone perhaps has experienced, or something happens and in that moment you don't know what to say. And then you're like, I wish I would have said something.
That's the difference between, you might not think this has anything to do with my martial arts world, but it's very important on controlling a class and how you teach and how
Yeah.
you command a presence. And it's not just martial arts. It goes in and teacher at school, teaching somebody how to do
Anything.
something. And most people are like, I don't like when people yell and they're loud. But who do you listen to when they talk?
Yeah.
Do you listen to the timid person that walks up and doesn't seem to have confidence, or they're trying to, they're trying to act like the room feels? Or you have the person that walks in and is like, what's up, everybody?
I know, but then the unfairness of that is probably the quiet, timid person has so much to share.
Yeah.
They just haven't found the voice to do it yet.
Jay Baruchel from BlackBerry was that character.
That was that character.
He didn't know how to articulate it. He had something, but he had so much to give.
Yeah.
It's the same idea. But this movie is very funny. I thought it was hilarious.
The other thing that I think was interesting to me is if you were to go in a room and be silent, the noise level of everyone else I felt like was so loud. I don't know if you got that, or if
everything is always silent in my world.
Okay, well, but like he'll be in the chair and like 4 people are talking,
he's always going.
Or he's in the office and like 10 people at the publicist's office were talking.
I was just asking if you noticed that every scene that he's sitting in a chair,
loud.
There's a lot of people talking at the same time,
and it's so loud and overwhelming. And I was just like, I wonder too if that's kind of a look at people who perhaps process information differently than we do, and have it. Could that be a take on someone dealing with whatever disorder?
I also saw it.
Do you hear things that way? So
of people
loud.
in the industry surrounded by people saying so much and saying nothing.
Correct.
It's all nonsense head speak. Those voices in your head, and nobody is saying anything, but they won't stop talking.
See, I feel like this movie, there's so many different levels to it.
See, and I'm one of those people too, like, and I know I come off rude sometimes because I won't listen to somebody ramble.
Yeah.
I'll tell you to stop talking.
It's like, I don't know what you're saying.
I do that to a lot of the kids in my school class. They'll start talking. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Please stop talking to me. And, and like we've had students, grown men, that will ramble about something that may not have a lot of people skills. We had one specific for years that all y'all would get stuck with. And I would always run interference because I would walk over to let you all get away from him. And then while he was talking, I would just, while he's talking, turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand why y'all don't walk away, because y'all are all like, well, just walk away, But I know it comes off rude and it's not nice, but at the same time, I'm not going to waste my time listening to somebody say nothing.
Yeah. I think the other thing, there's so many levels. The other thing, there's another character who, after being put in and spit out through the Hollywood machine, suffers like a mental breakdown and ends up living on the streets. And so I feel like we're also dealing with the mental health issue of this. So there are so many levels to this movie, but it's funny and it's engaging.
I thought Ken Jeong was fantastic.
Oh my God, because he leads a lot of
this. This was the perfect vehicle for him to go. He was very much his character from Hangover.
Yeah.
But in a Hollywood industry. Fast speaks. Yeah. But he was also kind of a con man. He was a little sleazy. Like, even when it was something as simple as like he didn't have money to pay for his meal, he counts it out like very confident. And he's like, $3. I got $3. Don't you worry about it. We're gonna get moving on. We're gonna do this. And the other person, I'll take care of it. He goes, oh, you don't have to do that, but since you're going to, thank you so much. He talks like that, and it's that double speak that I could watch an entire TV series based on that one character.
Uh-huh. So, I thought it was good. I liked it.
I thought it was a fun movie. It may not connect with everybody. Obviously, the other reviewer that I saw talking about
some other reviews didn't like it. They didn't think it was funny. I thought it was very
Fool's
funny.
Paradise is in theaters now. Again, if you want
it's a satire, though. So people, if it's not straight out slapstick or physical comedy, some people don't get it.
I think if you don't understand and see the depth of all the different things that they're showing, and everybody in this movie seemed to be having a great time.
Yes.
Like, because a lot of these they're big actors, and you can tell he probably called in favors, and especially Kate Beckinsale, she looks like she's just having a blast with her nonsense character.
And Adrian Brody,
because they're both over the top actors, and they probably getting to play some element of themselves, but all getting to embellish it and being ridiculous.
Yes,
but that brings me to wanted to ask you about a review thing I just read. Okay. I kind of want an opinion.
Okay,
excuse me. I'll start off saying this reviewer is full of crap, but. So I was I was reading a review right before we went on our show on the air. Somebody reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And they weren't talking about the movie itself or good or bad. They were talking about how they felt cheated
because
of not having Disney Plus. Right? So, and I'm like, huh, what are you thinking? Or they say the streaming is killing the theater industry, but not in the way that a lot of people talk about.
Okay.
So basically, as going through there, they started talking about first the introduction of new characters that they've never seen before because they hadn't seen the holiday special. And like one of them, they mentioned this, and this is what annoys me, these nonsensical reviews, because they mentioned like there's suddenly this dog in a space outfit that I'd never seen before. That dog is in the first movie. So if you don't remember that from the first movie, then you're just stupid.
Isn't there a whole comic series too?
I know, I'm not talking about comic people. I'm just talking about a reviewer who doesn't know anything about him. So I'm like, okay, if you hadn't seen the first movie, first of all, why are you watching the third?
Correct.
Second of all, if you don't remember a talking dog from the first movie in a spacesuit,
you
was he a prominent character in the first movie? No, but his existence starts there, so that doesn't. It's not a hard understanding why he's there.
Yes,
that was the minor one. But then there's an element that connects back to the events that I'm not going to spoil like they did in the review. But it does say spoilers ahead, so they warned you. But there's elements in relation to the after credit scene that harkens all the way back to the holiday special, and elements of what happened, and even a picture from the holiday special with somebody in it that's in the credits, and they're like, when did that even happen? I don't remember any of that. And then they didn't understand, so they're like, I felt cheated because I didn't know any of this stuff ever happened, and I don't think it's right. So I felt lost watching this film.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's kind of the thing of it's connecting to the story. And I don't understand why the nonsensical mentality of thinking this is ruined because I didn't watch something.
Okay.
So
I don't think you're. I'm going to just tell you right now. If you're going to claim and or work to be a movie reviewer, your ass better subscribe to every single thing out there, because that is your job.
I agree.
This is a job. I mean, technically, this is our side hobby.
I don't get paid for this, but this is
we
a full-time
subscribe
job
to every single thing. We look up reference of every single thing. I don't have all the comic book knowledge, but it's living in that room over there, and you will tell me. And I have a thing called Google where I can go look up the history of whatever character. So I think it's like anything. If
you're gonna watch a part one of any movie, I'll let it go. Gosh. If you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie, I would let it go. Because it's the first movie in the franchise. You don't know what to do. But you should be able to watch a first movie in a series like this and learn. Because you don't necessarily need the source material for the first movie. You should learn with the first movie. That's good storytelling.
Who everybody is, yeah.
But when you get to the third film,
you better go back and watch everything ever done.
20-something film franchise.
Oh my gosh.
And knowing that these TV shows exist and there's other things that connect, and you didn't go before and say, what do I need to see prior to watching this movie, then you're stupid.
I agree. I mean, I think that would be like, hey, there's a new Batman movie coming out. Well, I want to know everybody that's ever played Batman.
So here's a perfect example. You brought that up. The new Flash movie coming out.
Like, I think we need to know all our characters.
We know Ben Affleck is coming back. He's in the trailer.
Well, go watch the Ben Affleck.
And we know Michael Keaton is in there.
Go watch the Michael Keaton one.
Do I also know that the Michael Keaton movies don't have a direct connection? Mm-hmm. Yes, but guess what I'm going to do?
We're going to go
I'm going to at least watch the first two Batman movies.
And you're going to pull out probably Michael Keaton's bust and sit there like this and watch
He'll be on the show. He'll be sitting right here. He'll be sitting on the show. But I'm going to watch Batman and Batman Returns.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch...
I just want to hear Vicky Vale.
I'm going to watch at least Batman v Superman and probably Justice League.
I'll watch this.
Do I need to? Probably not.
No,
but that's where that Flash is. And I'm going to prepare...
I think that's
because there's always that one little thing that came from that.
Is this a for real movie reviewer or just somebody that claims?
No, this was like in Variety or something.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, it was on Yahoo News or whatever, but it was
there's no way that you can't afford the $5.99 add-on.
Oh, well, here in the article it does mention why. So apparently the person covers a lot of music.
Oh, well then go to music.
And it says he said, I don't know where it's at now. He said something to the effect, I think it's a he. I'm sorry, I don't know the person's name. It may be a girl, I don't know.
Them.
They said something to the effect of, well, I subscribe to all the music things because I guess they review music or whatever.
Stick with music.
So one of the streaming services had to go, and that was Disney Plus with the whole housing crisis. So now they're talking about, and I know reviewers don't make that much
Disney's
money.
like one of the least expensive ones.
No, it's a little up there now, but Hi-Ya is the least expensive one.
Yeah, it's $2.99 or something.
It's $4.
Oh,
but I understand that. But if your job is going to be reviewing some of these things, then you need to have it.
You need to have it. There's no excuse.
You could be a reviewer and not have Netflix.
I feel like this is, yeah.
You just want to review movies on Netflix because they're exclusive to that. But if you know Disney has Star Wars, Marvel, all this stuff that you know carries into the big screen, then that's the one that should be the important one of all the runs. It's just common sense. And I'm sorry, it's like, do I necessarily like that we all pay for all this streaming? No. But I also like the ability to like it. I like that we get so much different content from different places.
I feel like, too, we love movies.
Yeah.
Like, we genuinely love
everything.
Movies and TV and series and all that. There's no way I would ever go to a part 3 or part 4 of a movie and not have seen the other ones. There's no way I would ever do that. Unless you didn't know.
Exactly. Like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 tells you there's 2 more.
3, yeah.
If you go see Spectre, not realizing that's the last James Bond movie, and you're like, oh crap, this is I haven't seen the other Daniel Craig James Bond movies. That's kind of understandable.
You probably need to watch them.
But if you look at the poster and it shows 007, that tells you it's James Bond.
And we have a whole set. It's like this many movies you gotta watch.
Even the movies like the Has Fallen series.
Yes.
That could probably throw somebody off. But you're like...
But I feel like, do people not go look up the movie before?
No, some people just go watch it.
I don't like to watch too many trailers. I'll watch one trailer, but I'll go read the synopses.
Yeah.
Before we go.
Somebody told me they were interested to watch
I'm sorry, that's just dumb.
And I bring this up because we're in the middle of a Fast and Furious marathon. And we've seen them all numerous times. But if I'm going to go see the new movie, I want to rewatch everything.
All of them.
And somebody's like, well, you don't really need to watch Hobbs and Shaw. It has nothing to do with that. I said, but I don't know what they're going to do in the new movie. I don't know who's coming back. I don't know if they may split around and turn off. Because in Hobbs and Shaw, there was an ending to the movie that they were promising some new villain. We haven't got a new Hobbs and Shaw movie. There's no discussing about it. So who knows if that section is not going to veer into...
And then I saw that there was a picture of, what's his name, with the mother from Hobbs and Shaw.
With who? What? Who?
Wasn't there a picture of the lady?
But who?
With Dominic Toretto talking to the mom of Hobbs and Shaw. Was that who it
was? Helen Mirren?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was in back a few movies.
No, but I thought I saw a production picture.
Oh, for the new movie?
Yeah.
Possibly, but she's already in the franchise, so that's
why I'm saying, why would I not watch Hobbs and Shaw? Because she has a fun part in
But he saw her before Hobbs and Shaw.
It doesn't matter, but I still want to see more.
Remember, because in the last one we just watched, that's when we went and saw her for the first time. And then she transitioned.
I don't know. I think she's in this too. But in this one,
it's just one of those things that, like,
I would watch the whole series.
Movie, in my opinion, if you're going to watch any movie, look at it first and see.
Watch all of them.
Is this part of something else? Because you can almost tell from a trailer, this looks like I'm missing something.
Can't you try Disney Plus free for 5 days or something?
Let somebody else comment on it that says, why don't you just log on to it, watch the one thing, and then get rid of it?
Correct.
If you can, somebody was talking about doing that back and forth.
Do you want me to send you $10?
Somebody was talking about doing that back and forth, saying, if you only need it for each Marvel movie, that means it's always something come out once a year. Sign on for it. Watch what you want for however long your trial is. Sign off of it.
Exactly.
Anyway, don't be stupid.
Okay. Sorry.
And here's the thing: if you don't get the Easter eggs, the thing they're talking about has nothing to do with the story of the movie.
No. And
you can just see that it could have just
it afterwards.
The same stuff could have been put in there as a joke that didn't even happen. It's like if you look at a newspaper article in some of these movies and you see funny Easter eggs in the background, you're like, RoboCop saves the day, and you're watching a Superman movie. They do crap like that. What was it? I Am Legend, the Will Smith movie. If I'm not mistaken, that's the movie where they're walking past a theater and it says Batman versus Superman or something. Yeah. And it's because the same studio put it out, so they just put a fun Easter egg or something. Yeah. May not have nothing to do with anything. Anyway, don't be dumb. That's what all this is. I'm sorry I rambled, but it annoyed me.
All right, then. That's how movie reviewing works over here.
All right, so coming out this week on Blu-ray and DVD, it's another kind of, ironically, the Jason Statham movie, Operation Fortune.
Oh, good, because we never
That means it's cheaper on rental, so we can digitally rent it.
We'll rent it.
It's Hugh Grant and Jason Statham.
I'm in.
Josh Hartnett. I can't see who else all these people are. Oh, Aubrey Plaza. So I'm all in for that movie. I've heard it's good. The Italian Job is getting a 4K treatment. So
I love the Italian Job.
Jason Statham in that movie too?
I don't think so.
He sure is.
He is?
Yeah. How do you love that movie and you don't know Jason Statham's in that movie?
Because it's a Marky Mark movie.
But Jason Statham's in the movie.
I know. Okay, well, it's a Marky Mark movie to me.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. In case you don't know, there's 2 others before this. And they're in the Infinity War and all that stuff. That movie's coming out on 4K Blu-ray. Star Trek: Strange New World Season 1 is coming out this week.
Yep.
It's a great show if you've never watched it.
We're almost done.
Max Fleischer's Superman series, which is this one. It's the 1941 to 1943 animated series. It is a great show. If you've never seen it, it's kind of like watching the George Reeves Superman, but it's and fun fact, this series is why Superman flies. Because the original things, if you listen to the thing, is leaps tall buildings. Superman didn't used to fly; he jumped.
He could jump high,
but he seemed to fly. In this show, they made him start flying, and so this is one of the biggest reasons he flies still today.
Well, there you go.
So that
sounds fun. I'll
release
watch that.
is coming out, and that's pretty much the big stuff.
Okay, let's talk about coming to the theater or online. So today on Tubi, if you have Tubi, you can go watch the new movie Mercy Falls. It's a group of friends who go off to the Scottish Highlands for a long lost cabin.
Excuse me, sorry.
If you have to go in search of a long lost cabin, I'm going to tell you right now, something bad's going to happen. So they get there, tragedy befalls the group, and they start turning on each other. So that's going to happen. Tuesday, coming on video, demand, and digital, a movie called Assassin Club. This is the one with Henry Golding and Noomi Rapace, where he's an assassin and he wants out. So they're like, the final job, go kill these 5 or 6 people, not knowing they're also trying to kill him. Coming to Netflix, I want to watch this. It's a new documentary about Anna Nicole Smith called You Don't Know Me. I think that'll be really interesting. It says it's an unflinching and humanizing look at her life and death. So I think that'll be interesting. Coming to video, demand, and digital, also on Tuesday, it says Out and About. This looks really interesting. It's just a man, middle-aged man, kind of looking at his life, but it all happens as he takes just an afternoon walk through the city, through his little town. So interesting. Okay, coming out on Thursday, The Haunting of Hellhole Mine.
Oh yeah, I know about
coming to video, demand, and digital. This looks interesting. It's about a supernatural entity called the Shakani that lives in an old mine, and he gets in there, this guy, and he becomes trapped in the mine and starts suddenly having visions and crazy things are happening to him, and he has to get out. Coming out on Friday, there's a little movie coming to the theater called Fast 10. This is Fast and Furious Part 10.
It's actually Fast X.
X means 10 in Roman numerals. So my recommendation is you go watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And Hobbs and Shaw.
And Hobbs and Shaw.
It's a spinoff.
Just gonna say.
You don't necessarily, I will tell you this, you do not have to watch the animated Fast and Furious series.
Although if you wanted to, why not?
Yes, but that one you can skip.
Okay, also coming to theaters is a movie called Buddy Games, Spring Awakening.
I like the first one.
So I think this is going to be silly, isn't it?
Yeah, basically the first movie is Josh Duhamel directed both of them.
Okay, he's in this
I didn't
again.
know they're making a sequel.
He's doing this again.
So this may be one of those I'll probably run and go watch by myself because you probably don't care. But it's basically this group of friends and they go and do basically like crazy games, but they start fighting with each other. It's kind of like that movie Tag.
Yeah.
That Jeremy Renner, remember all the friends are playing tag forever?
Yes.
But it's more
like
that
was
games.
A funny movie.
This was more like actual.
Well, this one says someone has passed within their group.
Dax Shepard's character from the first movie.
Okay, and now they're doing something to commemorate his life.
Which then makes me wonder, why is Dax Shepard not back? Why are they killing him off? But maybe they had a falling out or he didn't want to do it. I don't know. You never know.
So I'm torn about this. Coming out Friday to Hulu. This is the Hulu movie of the week, White Men Can't Jump. It's the remake of the marvelous movie starring, don't tell me, Wesley Snipes. What's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. And, it all left my brain.
Wow.
Hold on, don't tell me.
How do you not remember the Hispanic or the white person?
I lost her name. I want to say it's Maria Conchita, but it's not.
No, it's Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
And Woody Harrelson.
White
Man Can't Jump is awesome.
Why would they redo it? I'm
same
concerned.
reason they redo everything.
I'm concerned, but
I'm not against seeing this because it is a story they could redo as long as they don't do the same story. If they do something different.
If they do the same thing where she's trying to win Jeopardy amount.
Yeah.
Okay, come into video, demand, and digital is a movie called Dottie and Soul.
They keep sending me crap about that too.
This looks, I guess, okay. It's somebody gets caught up in a social media scandal and tries to figure the way out and gets his neighbor or his friend
it's always
to pretend to be the company owner. And
it's always interesting on the big props to PR firms that really push some of this stuff. Because like there's some of these movies that I don't have time to watch everything. And there's some of these movies that I get like 7 to 10 emails pushing that same movie. Hey, do you want to watch this? Do you want to interview this person? Hey, it's going to come out this week. Hey, don't miss this one. You know, And I'm like, I ignore them, and then sometimes I give in, and sometimes they're the best ones I watch.
Yeah.
And other times it's like I don't find out till we do the show that you're like, I really want to see this. I'm like, I passed this like 13 times.
Well, you need to tell me, or I need to just check a couple of weeks ahead. So that's what's happening this week. I'm excited for this just because of that man right there.
But you never even finished the first season.
I don't care. I'm gonna watch.
Start playing it?
I love his voice.
All
Okay,
right.
there you go.
All right. So on our giveaways, it's all pretty much the same stuff, mostly, with the exception of one that we don't, with the passes already expired, the digital codes. Are you going to join me on this part of the show?
I'm going to right now.
So we still have a copy of the Superman 1978 to 1987 4K collection. We'll be ending probably this week. Woody Harrelson and Champions.
So good.
She couldn't remember his
He
name
likes
just now.
basketball.
Cool Hand Luke. I still have one more copy of that on 4K. We have copies of ignore the Quantumania. That was the digital copy, and it's already been deactivated.
Oh, sorry.
So it'll get replaced today. We have copies of Unwelcome still, and I still have a couple copies of Magic Mike's Last Dance. So some of them have already been shipped out. Some of them are running out of. I usually try to leave them up. If you go to the website at
HollywoodMatrimony.com
and you click on the link and it doesn't work, it means the contest has ended.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just haven't had a chance to change the image. I just also want to just leave a space empty. So sometimes it'll get updated. Like I have 3 new things that need to be added, but I have to wait till certain times to add them. So I'll just deactivate it so it's there. But it's also a reminder that this thing exists and it's out there, and you can be like, hey, what is this? I can't click this. Maybe I'll go look it up.
Yeah, go look it up.
So anyway,
watch a movie.
If you read our reviews, which I know you probably don't, at the bottom of all my reviews, I will post when things are released. So like certain things, like say Quantumania, I posted my review for it, but it doesn't release until Tuesday of next week, or if it was last week, whatever. So like Unwelcome comes out, I think on Tuesday, or it came out this week. So I'll say it's available now, or I'll say something comes out next Tuesday or whatever. It has the date. So you get that information.
There you go. I did this one side for you.
Congratulations.
But then I think I screwed up.
You messed up the side that mattered.
Oh.
All right. They're going to come and take you.
No, they're not. They're going to take you.
Nope,
you're the one willing to do blood sacrifices. They're going to take you.
They're about to come to have some sights to show you, sister.
No, don't tell me no sights. Thank you so much for joining us at today's show. Make sure you find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Hive. Go like, go share, subscribe. Tell everyone you know. Send bubbles, send hearts, send money. Whatever you want to do, we will take it. And make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com.
And just as a tease, I won't tell you what movie it is. It is not John Wick, but I do have a new Donnie Yen movie giveaway that's fixing to pop up. So if you like you some Donnie Yen, watch out this week. Peace and love. Be here next week. Bye.